This is an M4 rifle. It's a modern assault style weapon that is designed for defense, assault, sporting purposes, maybe even hunting, depending on what you're looking for. It shoots 5.56 NATO, 62 grain, around 2,900 feet per second. Very effective on targets up to about 250 pounds. However, it's large. You can't really take it places with you unless you're slinging it over your back. Every once in a while you can get one with a folding stock, but I don't like that so much. Next, we decided let's scale down a little bit. How about a smaller version of the same thing? This is an SBR 12.5 inch M4 rifle. It's got a 2.5 sight on the top, my primary arms, and an ambidextrous lower. This is something that's great. If I were to add a specialty folding stock, I might be able to put this into a backpack, which is great. I can carry something that's like that. But it's also incredibly loud and it's got a lot of firepower. It's not always necessary, and I wouldn't want to be caught walking around a mall with this. It would probably cause a fuss. Well, if I wanted to scale down the firepower on this, maybe I could go with this. This is another SBR that I have. This is a CZ Scorpion with a suppressor on the front, a folding stock by Magpul. If I were to take the suppressor off the front, I can shoot 35 rounds of 9mm, and I could flip out the stock here and shoulder it. There's something that's really cool about having this. However, using something that is a SBR submachine gun style is probably not the best idea in most situations. It's just too big, but it is far more accurate than most pistols will be because of the red dot and the two-handed controls. So, when we talk about scaling, one of the things that we end up with is that to go from those large guns to say something like this, Colt, we're probably only dealing with something that goes from a large amount of accuracy to something with a very small amount of accuracy. Looking down these two 3-dot sights, I may only really be effective out to 25 to 30 yards with this. And there are situations in which we know that there have been shootings in which the targets can stay 50 to 60 yards away, and it can cause problems for the people who may want to try to engage those targets. We've seen situations in things like schools, mall food courts. So something like this may be useful, but it may be good to consider if there's something different. We talked about scaling here. I have a giant M4 rifle, but what about something like this? This is what I like to call an Enhanced Combat Pistol, or ECP. A lot of people call it a Roland Special as well. This is an enhanced regular firearm that has a combination of combat and competition technology that enhances what is on a regular pistol and can give you a lot more ability to shoot further out, faster, and get more hits on target. While that Combat Commander is great, and I love to carry it, something like this is something that I can still technically conceal on my person. It's something that I can absolutely carry a significant amount of ammunition with, and it's something that can obviously help me get targets out to 50 yards. Now normally, a gun like this could start its life out as a regular M&P. Now this one has been upgraded from the factory to use a metal frame, a combat match trigger. This one has a tactical light installed, a mag well, an extended magazine, and this one has a 5-inch barrel, a lightened barrel. It has a set of sights that are both fiber optic and black serrated in the rear, and I've installed a HoloSun SCS solar charging system. Now a lot of these things come from competitions. A lot of them come from tactical use. But when you blend them together, what you have is the ability to carry more ammunition, have tighter groups with the sights, and be able to carry something tactically with the rail on the front. I can also change magazines very quickly. This gun allows me to change magazines with my same hand. So something like this is great, and I like to call it the ECP. So what I've done here is created another ECP in addition. Now this is a smaller version of the same thing. This is a SIG M18, which you may see from one of my other videos. I've added a Wilson Combat grip on it. I've added the Go Gun gas pedal takedown lever, the SIG Romeo 1 Pro, and another light that I had lying around. But something that's great is that this gun comes with a 21 round magazine. So I have the ability to shoot quite a bit of rounds, or if I want to really go for more concealability, I can go with the standard 17 round magazine. This one has a manual safety, as is part of the M18 fire control group. I've also upgraded to the skeletonized enhanced trigger, and I find it to be a much significantly easier to use trigger. I believe it's the same one that's used on the Legion. Obviously these have all been safety checked, but if we need to show it again before I actuate this trigger, I can at least show you that. So one of the things that this will help me do is that the red dot sight and the gas pedal are something that we have seen in competition guns. A lot of competition guns have a very large thumb grip right here, which will allow people to control the recoil. Another thing that a lot of these guns have is, again, this red dot sight, which helps completely surround the target that you're looking at instead of trying to line it up with the dot from the sight. This one has an enhanced trigger like a competition gun and has a rail on the bottom. This one also has an enhanced grip module just for enhanced use. Now, when we combine all of these things together, what we have is we could take something that really sits between this, I can get it all on screen, and this. While it would sure be nice to have both, you can't always do that. But I believe that the Enhanced Combat Pistol allows you the opportunity to carry more firepower than this could give you, simply based on the fact that perhaps instead of 9 or 10 rounds, you can now carry 22 rounds. Now, what are the trade-offs? Yeah, we've gotten bigger in size. However, it's not that much bigger, if you can see. We're a little bit lighter. This is a steel gun. This is a partially polymer gun. This one has a light. This one has the gas pedal, the red dot sight, and the 21 round magazine with the enhanced trigger. One of these is great because it is about as slim and as svelte as one could get, and it could tuck away very nicely into perhaps even a large pocket holster or slim inside the waistband. One of these ECPs might require a large outside the waistband holster, running it appendix with a large interior holster, or potentially running a shoulder holster. For me, because I'm large, running a shoulder holster is probably one of the better ideas. But since I'm wearing a shoulder holster, I don't really feel that bad having a gun that's this large. So when I have an ECP, I have the ability to engage potentially a target out to 50 yards with some accuracy. And then I might have the ability to use it as a self-defense weapon, training type of weapon, or maybe just to go out and just have fun at the range. Given that this is a much more accurate pistol than I could possibly shoot it with its iron sights, I could actually, in theory, compete with this gun, defend with this gun, train with this gun, and if I wanted to duty carry this gun, totally possible. So, obviously, the Roland Special has been something that people have been looking at for many years in the last couple of years. However, I have shied away from it as part of me likes to just think I want a bare gun with just bare stuff on it. Well, sometimes I've thought about carrying large guns like this, Ruger Red Hawk 5.5 inch. I have no problem shoulder carrying this gun, but it's giant and it only carries 6 rounds. Now, 6 rounds of 44 Magnum is pretty special, but that doesn't mean that I can take on the world with it. Something like this that the military has already put a lot of money, time, and effort into, with mild enhancements, something that I could use myself, something that I could accessorize myself with very little effort. There's something to be said about that. So I really like the ability to have the opportunity to use a enhanced combat pistol. Now, this being the scaling between a larger semi-automatic short-barreled rifle, let's just say a my CZ Scorpion and something like this Colt Combat Commander, I feel like this bridges the gap. So if you are interested in building something like this, I encourage you, check some stuff out. The SIG 320, the Glock, the M&P are great pistols. The Walther PDP, these are all great pistols to start with. And I also would consider something maybe a little bit larger if you wanted to look at perhaps the HK USP. That's a great pistol. Or the P30 or the VP9 are great as well. The SIG 226 has a new variant from SIG. It has the 6226X Legion. And that is a gun that is modified with a lot of really specialty parts on it. So given this M18's ability to be extremely accurate and dependable with this much customizations, I highly recommend that everyone should check something out like that. So I hope everyone's doing well, and we'll talk again soon.